Good morning, it's Crazy Cheap Chick, and in a moment I'll show you the groceries. I spent a fortune, but there's a reason why, and it has to do with the big announcement that I've been talking about. And because of the big announcement, I did not have time to go to garage sales or Goodwill this week, so it's just going to be groceries, and then we'll get into what the big announcement is, and I'll show you what it is, so stick around. Well, guys, I got back from the grocery store. I spent more than usual. I spent $159.32 pre-tax, and I had to go to 2 stores to do that. I spent $97.65 at one store and $61.67 at the other store. And there's a reason that I had to spend so much. I'm going to be feeding more than just John Wayne and myself this week. I've got my grandkids one day, 4 of them. And then I'm going up to my dad's for about 4 days. And so I'll be feeding 5 adults for 3 or 4 days. So I needed more food. Anyway, I always start with full price and I go to sale and then clearance. Let me show you what I got. I got hamburger buns for $1.50, hot dog buns for $1.50, and bread for $2.99. I don't buy bread every week. It used to be in the past. I just got in the habit of buying the same things every week. Oh, well, I got to buy milk, I got to buy eggs, I got to buy bread. No, I don't. I have found that if I just buy stuff as I need it and get out of the mindset of you buy certain things every week. You don't need to buy certain things every single week. That's what I've found anyway. They did not have my regular cream, so I had to go with this 0 sugar French vanilla. It was $5.29. I got 2 of these 90-second rices. They were $1.50 each. Yeah, I know making your own rice is cheaper. Life, guys, we all have to survive, and I just don't have time this week. This week's going to be particularly busy, so I just don't feel like this week I have as much time to cook. These hamburger pickles were $2.69. I only like the really thin kind like you find on a McDonald's hamburger. I hate a thick pickle for some reason. These tomatoes, I think they were about $1.50. Sweetened condensed milk was $2.69. 2 sweet potatoes for $2.16. I needed some barbecue sauce. I went with this Casey Masterpiece Classic for $2.79. Barbecue sauce is expensive. Now, I'm going to make some barbecue sauce soon because it's so easy to make. I mean, it's basically tomatoes and brown sugar and spices. Sour cream was on sale. It was $2.50 for this size container. I paid full price for the gold potatoes. I still have russets, $5 for this bag. 2 bags of broccoli, and they were $1.25 each. This little bag of marshmallows was $1, and the romaine lettuce was $3.49. I believe these were $2.49. Forgot to write it on there. The cherries were $4.91. You know my one weakness is food, and I always give myself treats, and this week it was cherries. Then 2 bags of corn chips. They were $1.99 each. That's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. These hot dogs were $1.99 on sale, and this honey cured ham was $3.99 on sale. I don't know whether to call this sale or clearance. No beef broth, no chicken broth, vegan. It's really just vegetable broth. I mean, they're just putting a fancy term on there and calling it organic, but it's really just vegetable broth with a little bit of flavoring and coloring probably, but it was $1 each, and so I did go ahead and get 4 more of these. I bought these last week, and they are actually pretty good. And then I got these pork chops that were 5 for $5, and this cheese was on sale, and it was $2.49 a package, so $2.49, $2.49, $2.49. But then this one rang up $1.99, and this one rang up $1.49 because I had some coupons loaded. And then everything else is clearance. So I don't buy a lot of this stuff. I love it, but I already weigh more than I should. This Supreme Frosted Brownie Mix was $1.33. It had been $3.79. I also had a coupon, so it actually rang up for 33 cents, and I just couldn't walk away from it. I mostly splurged on meat. Last week, I only spent $18 on meat. I bought that big roast because I had company last week. for dinner, and I had 4 extra adults for dinner one night last week, and so I bought that big roast. This week, we're going a different route. They have these. These are not bad. These are savory campfire pork chops, or $1.75 for 2. And think about this. These are $1 each, so these are slightly less expensive, and they're seasoned. I got 2 packages. Then they also had this, Southwest Ranchero beefsteaks, and they were $2.10. I couldn't pass that up. There were 3 packages of them. I'll throw these all in the freezer. Now, here's where I messed up, guys. I got these pork tenderloins, $2.45, and I was going to get 3 of them, and I picked up 3, but I know there were at least 3 that had $2.45. I went and picked up one that wasn't marked down. So this one was $7, and these 2 were $2.45. And it's just not worth it to go back or to make a fuss about it. It was my mistake. Then these little Smokies were $1.86, and I went ahead and got 3 packages of them. We are going to have a family gathering in a week or 2. I can't remember the date, and so I'll probably make these for the family. And then I got quite a bit of hamburger marked down. These bacon cheddar beef patties were $3.50. Now, I don't know about where you live, but here hamburgers about $6 a pound. Sometimes it'll go on sale for $5.49 a pound. Or this week they had those tube packages for $3.99. But this is still cheaper, and also it's more than a pound. It's 1.33 pounds. So $3.50 is a pretty good deal. Same with this. This is more than a pound. Same with this. This is more than a pound. It's 19.2 ounces, so 1 pound, 3.2 ounces, $2.80. So less than $2.80 a pound. And just remember, just because it's in the shape of a patty doesn't mean you have to use it as a hamburger. You can fry it up and use it in whatever you want, or make a meatloaf out of it. This package here was $3.85. I actually found this at the first store I went to, and then found these at the second store. Then I got this steak. This is my treat for this week. Is John Wayne and I will split this steak. Actually, he'll probably eat 3/4, and I'll eat just a small amount. I'm not a huge meat eater. And we'll have that. And then these hamburger patties here, which are almost 2 pounds, were $5.02. So there's 8 patties in there. Then I did find a few clearance vegetables, but they didn't have a lot. 3 cucumbers for 99 cents. The small cauliflower for 99 cents. These 3 bell peppers for 99 cents. Those were my redneck bag deals. $1.81 for this chocolate milk. $1.92 for some Parmesan cheese. $1.57 for some chunky guacamole. 18 cents for these blended yogurts, and 52 cents for this Chobani yogurt, Greek yogurt. I usually make my own fabric softener, but this was cheap enough. I went ahead and got it. This stuff's usually $3.99. It was marked down to $2.60. Then these King's Hawaiian mini sub rolls were $2.41. This bread here, the rosemary, was $2.18, and this Italian herb was $1.05. So, oh, and there's one more thing I got. I also got 2 Bird's Eye fajita veggies and sauce. These were $1 a bag. These had been $3.99 a bag, marked down to $1. I suppose they're not going to carry them anymore, and there were only 2 bags, or I probably would have bought more. Anyway, that is what I got for my $160. It's quite a bit. Oh, there's one other thing I got. I also got these. This one was $2.15. It's a bunch of water. This lemon lime soda, looks like there's at least 12, probably 24, I didn't count them, for $1.40. And $2.37 for some orange and 1 cherry cola. So that's quite a bit of soda. Here's something else I bought I forgot to mention. This eyeliner was $1.49. And I buy most of my makeup at the grocery store. That's one of the ways I stay out of Walmart and Target and those kind of places, is even if I spend slightly more at the grocery store, I think it saves me by not going in those stores, because you have to know yourself. I don't have good self-control in Walmart or Target. I will buy things that I had not planned for, and so if I can just buy it at the grocery store, I'm usually better off. But let's talk about what we're going to eat this week. I'm not a big breakfast eater. I always have coffee. If I do eat something, it's usually yogurt or avocado toast. And for lunch, I usually eat salads and leftovers. And for our dinners this week, well, of course, when we go to my dad's, we'll be in our travel trailer. It's a little bit harder to cook in the travel trailer, so I have to do easy stuff. So I'm doing hamburgers. And we've got the buns, the cheese, and the hamburgers, the lettuce and the tomato and pickles, and I'm going to make a potato salad to go with it, and I'm probably going to make a pasta salad. Then one night, probably tonight, I'm going to make sub sandwiches. That's why I got this little package of ham. I've got all this cheese. I've got peppers and pickles and all the stuff you put on sub sandwiches. So that's what we're going to have for dinner tonight. I might make soup. I don't know. Then I'm going to make pork sandwiches in the crock pot. That's why I bought this, because, I'm going to be feeding 5 adults. I should have plenty of buns. Even though we're having hamburgers one night, I think we'll probably still have enough for the pork. And if I need to go get some more, I can. I may use one package of this hamburger to make chili. And then we could have chili dogs and leftover potato salad. I have a pasta salad I'm going to make, and I have a cherry salad I'm going to make. So we've got plenty there. Then also, I do have some chicken in the freezer. We could have fajitas if we need to. And then I've got all this meat. So there's plenty here. All you need is meat and a couple of sides. And I got plenty of potatoes and sides here and bread. So, there's more than enough for this week. Some of this will go into the pantry for future meals. But I'm starting to stock up a little bit more. How are you feeling? Well, I'm pretty stocked up on soda. There were like 23 of the lemon lime and 21 of the orange and 23 of the waters. So pretty good for what I got. Well, we're picking our first squash of the season. There he is. He's a fine fellow. I went to my dad's for 3 days, and I'm trying to make as much of my food to take in the travel trailer as I can before I leave. It's just easier to make it at home than it is in the trailer. And so tonight, I think we're going to have pork chops and mashed sweet potatoes. Tomorrow night's going to be hamburgers and pasta salad and baked beans. I'm also making potato salad. We're going to be having sandwiches for lunches. I've got the pasta salad done. Getting ready to mash these sweet potatoes. And I'm working on the potato salad. My potato salad, all it is half a bag, about 2.5 pounds of yellow potatoes, 5 boiled eggs, about half an onion, about half a green pepper, about a quarter of a red pepper, and some dill pickles. Don't like sweet pickles. I know a lot of people put sweet pickles in their potato salad, but I'm not a fan. So I just use dill pickles. And I'm also not a fan of mayonnaise. Just don't like it very much. So I'm going to use some of this Hidden Valley Ranch Pickle Ranch that I got on clearance for $2, and I think it'll be really great in here. Then I'm going to use some of this dill pickle seasoning that I also got on clearance. A little bit of this steakhouse peppercorn and garlic seasoning. I also put a little salt in there. Let's give it a taste and see how it turned out. That's what it looks like. That's good. Good morning, friends. We made it up to my dad's. We're staying in our travel trailer while we're up here for 3-4 days. And I'm ready to reveal the big news to you. Here's the big news. You see this old farmhouse back here? It's not been lived in for 12 years. And animals gained access to it. It's really deteriorated. And my dad has decided he wants to renovate it. And so, can this house be saved is the question. It's in rough shape. And so I'm going to be making a series of videos of us working on this house, Our goal is to be done by October 1st, before it gets cold. And it's going to be a lot of work, because it needs a lot of work. And I'm going to give you a little tour of the inside. You'll see how rough it is. My dad, I think, was on the bubble whether to burn it or renovate it. And he came down on the side of, let's go ahead and renovate it. But he has a pretty strict budget of how much he wants to spend. And we're going to see if we can keep it within that budget. So we'll be up here a lot this summer, staying in the trailer and helping with this house. I will make videos just on renovating the house, but they're all going to be under the banner of Crazy Cheap Chick. I'm not going to make a separate YouTube channel for it. And so if you don't want to watch those videos, just don't watch them. I don't care. But I thought you might find it interesting how you can take an older property. This house is about 75 years old, and make it nice again. But let's go tour the inside and you're going to see just what I'm talking about. Here's the outside of the house. And I want to tell you though, it's in a beautiful, beautiful spot. And this house probably isn't worth that much right now, but by the time it's renovated, it will more than double the value. All right, I'm just going to give you an overview of the house. This is the living room area, and it's going to get all new flooring and a new ceiling, and we're going to redo the walls. Of course, the first thing we have to do is move all of this junk out of here, and it's going into storage. Dad's kind of been using this house as just a storage area and a workshop. And this is the dining area. Doesn't everyone have a table saw in their dining area? And same here. It won't need a lot. It's going to need new paint, new floor. The kitchen's rough. And there's no light in here. Try to turn this light on. John Wayne and I are in a debate about these cabinets. I want to tear them out and replace them. He thinks they can be saved. To me, it would take so much work to save them. I don't know. And of course, it'll get all new flooring and everything in here. But this is the kitchen. This is I don't know what this is. I don't know what it was originally meant to be, because the original house, this was the back door. And there's this big wood stove in here, which is going away. But my dad was using it this winter to keep this house warm when he came over here. But it's a huge fire hazard. And we're going to turn this basically into a laundry room and utility room for the furnace. Right now, this house doesn't have forced air. It has floorboard heating. We're doing away with that. Then over here, this is a bedroom. And my dad's been using this as kind of his farm office, because he hasn't been living here, but he would come over here and do stuff here. And so this would be kind of an office area for him. This room isn't too bad. So new flooring, new paint. The bathroom, really rough. This is the bathroom right here. It's going to be completely torn out. And the plan is to take this bathroom and the adjoining closet and make it into 2 bathrooms. So we're turning this into a 2-bedroom, 2-bath home. So there'll be a master bath right through here, and then there'll be a bathroom off the hallway. And then over here is another bedroom. Surprisingly, from when this house was built, these bedrooms are not a bad size. Flooring, new paint, cleaned up. And then back here, this was an addition that was built onto the house. And I don't know what this addition was originally built for, do you? I mean, they never...
House had no bathroom.
Oh, so they put the bathroom in when they built this addition?
Well, the bathroom is part of the addition.
Yeah, but what was this room meant to be?
Who knows?
Okay, we don't know. But as you can see, this room needs the most work. Though my dad uses it like a workshop, a man cave. So I don't know that we're going to do a ton to this room other than paint and flooring. Then it does have a basement, but it's a scary basement. And I don't know, I've never even been down there. All right, I guess I'll attempt it. Here's the basement. So the bones on it are still really good. The foundation's good. It looks rough, but there's a lot about it that's okay. And so I think the reno will be pretty dramatic. Now, keep in mind, this house is 75 years old. Everything's original. So the siding, everything is original on it. So one of the first things we're going to do, well, actually, the first thing that's getting done is the roof, because the roof is bad. I think it's got like 3 levels of shingles on it. Well, still works. This house is on rural water. Here's the back of the house. But I wanted to give you this initial view of it before any work has been done. When we come up here, we stay in our travel trailer. That's Dad's travel trailer. And it's just a beautiful view up here. Beautiful. It's in a gorgeous setting. Well, friends, that was my big news, renovating Dad's house. And it's going to be a ton of work, and it's going to take 3 or 4 months. And I'm going to be posting videos along the way. I think it'll be interesting. If you like shows like Hometown, this is very similar. You're just taking an old house and bringing it back to life. And you can do it, but there is a lot of hot, nasty, yucky work that goes along with that. And so often I find these days people don't want to do that. They want to just buy everything already done. And if you want to get ahead though, flipping a house is a pretty good way to do it. This is not our first house flip. We have flipped other houses and done quite well. So follow along. Maybe you'll get some ideas on how to do it and how to do it inexpensively, to either resell it or to live in it. Start building equity and then resell it later on. It should be fun. Anyway, feel free as I make the videos to share them with other people. Like, comment, subscribe, all of those things help me out. I really appreciate it. I'm trying to build my channel right now. And we're going to renovate this house as inexpensively as possible. My dad doesn't want to pour a ton of money into it. But even with the money that he's allotted, I think it's going to turn out pretty great. And I think you're going to be shocked and amazed. Anyway, my channel is really just about my life, what's going on in my life currently. So yeah, there's grocery saving videos and how to make food and how to make household products and travel videos. I don't have a separate channel for everything. It all goes under that one banner of Crazy Cheap Chick. So watch the videos you want, and I'm not going to be offended if you don't watch all of them. That's fine with me. But as always, if you do stick around to the end, I like to tell you a little story to entertain you. And this week I had my 4 youngest grandchildren, and we call it Camp Nana Banana during the summer. They come over and we do fun things. This week we made gummy bears, we went swimming, we had lunch, but we also played a game of life. Remember that game where you spin the wheel and it helps you pick your career and tells you how much money you're going to make, and you land on a space and you have a kid and there's all kinds of things happen. And we played a round of that game. And one of my grandkids, he just finished 1st grade. I took the career path and he took the college path, even though I really talked to them about there's many paths to success. I'm not anti-college, but I'm also not anti-career, skilled trades or entrepreneurship. There's lots of ways to be successful in life besides just college. Anyway, he took the college path. He had to take out student loans, and he became a doctor, and he got $100,000 every time he passed payday. And we kept saying, when are you going to pay back your student loans? And he kept saying, I will. And finally, I'm like, you're going to have to pay back those student loans before the game is over, you know. And he's amassed this big stack of bills. And finally, he looks at me and he goes, Nana, if I pay back my student loans, I won't be rich anymore. I guess he's figured out the system. So that made me laugh. And then, of course, like every time you play a game with kids, there's a fight. Remember that? What started the fight was someone copied someone. You remember how horrible that is when you're a kid. And I'm like, can you take out a patent on your facial expressions? I don't think so. And someone called someone a weirdo. And they took great offense to that. So they're in a big fight. And my grandson looked at his cousin and he said, look, I have a horrible problem. When I get really mad, I just want to bite someone, and you don't know how hard I'm working not to bite you right now. And I could hardly control it. I wanted to laugh so bad because let me tell you, I can't tell you the number of times I've gotten so mad I wanted to bite someone. Anyway, I was reasoning with him, like, is it really that bad to be called a weirdo? I mean, that can be a term of affection. Like, you're a little different, but I really like you. You're my little weirdo. And my mom, my little sweet mom, was there, and she looks at me and she goes, is that what you told yourself to make it through elementary school? I'm like, yeah, I guess so. Anyway, I am a little weird, and I'm giving you permission to be a little weird because being weird is really what makes life interesting. It's kind of weird to have a YouTube channel at my age, but I love it. I've gotten to a point, I don't really care what people think anymore. I just like to do the things that I think is fun. So if you're like me, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, comment, share. All of those things help me out. Now go out there and be a little weird and have a great week.